Hello, let me introduce myself. I'm Karen Scala. I've met many of you before last year. I was a supply plaster for your church along with my four-footed companion, Smitty. Smitty is my ministry dog, and today I don't have him, I just have me. And I'm coming to you in a different time and in a different way today. Today is a different world. And for those of you who are not aware, I am embarking on a new journey as a member of your church. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to help transition over to your new pastor during the next 2 weeks. So this week, I'm going to start with Psalm 86. And this is a psalm that's a prayer of David. Hear me, O Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I call to you all day long. Bring joy to your servant, Lord, for I put my trust in you. You, Lord, are forgiving and good, abounding in love to all who call to you. Hear my prayer, Lord. Listen to my cry for mercy. When I am in distress, I call to you, because you answer me. Among the gods there is none like you, Lord. No deeds can compare with yours. All the nations you have made will come and worship before you, Lord. They will bring your glory to your name, for you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. So I want to talk to you this morning just a few minutes about this psalm and how it might relate to us now. Psalms are prayers, and psalms are prayers which many times are prayers of lament. And these are times which are used, or these are psalms which are used during times which are hard, just like times that we're dealing with right now. As a world, we're living in a crisis mode. As a society, we're living in a crisis mode. And many times transitions, such as we're going through now as a church, are seen as a crisis. And it's really important to know that one of the things that I think really speaks to this issue of transition and crisis in particular is to think about the fact that the Chinese character for crisis is actually composed of two different characters. One character is for danger, and the other character is for opportunity. And both of those characters together make up the character of crisis. And so many of our churches at this point in time right now, in June and July, are in a little bit of a crisis mode because they're undergoing so much transition. And they're transitioning during a time of great transition in the broader world. So I wanted to think a little bit about the kinds of transitions that we have and how we cope as a people of faith during this time of transition, this time which can be seen as a crisis. And think about it really as holding both danger and opportunity. What do we do as a people of faith during these times? We turn to God. Psalms are a kind of turning to God. They're really a letter to God in many ways. And these are prayers that you can do yourself. I would encourage each of you right now to write down your own psalm of lament, because this is a saying of goodbye, and it's also a welcoming of something new. It's saying goodbye to the old and welcoming the new. So the way you can do that, there's a simple structure to a psalm, and the way that you can write a psalm or a cry of lament is to say first what it is you're having difficulty with. So you're going to address God and say, God, I'm having a problem. And you can see this in Psalm 86 pretty clearly. The very first line is, hear me, Lord, and answer me. So you're crying out to God. It's okay to do that. God can handle it. God's big enough to handle that. The second thing in writing this up, this special prayer, is to state your complaint or your lament. What is it that you are saying goodbye to? What is it that you're worried about? What is it that you're afraid about? That's followed up by a confession of trust. You can see both of these elements again in Psalm 86. Listen to my cry of mercy, God, is what David is saying here. When I am in distress, I call to you because you answer me. So basically, you're confessing your trust in God that God will answer. The next part is a prayer for deliverance. So you're going to say, God, help me. I really need some help right now. And the final part is to say and come to a point of saying, I put my trust in you because I know that you are there, God. And to give God the praise that's due for that. And again, in Psalm 86, we can see that. For you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. These are just some of the ways in which our ancestors in faith, those who have come before us, those saints who have come before us, have dealt with these challenging times. So I'd like you to read again Psalm 86 on your own, or even choose any other psalm. See if you can find this structure. The address, the complaint, the confession, the prayer for deliverance, and the praise. And think about what would it look like right now in the midst of your own crisis or fears in the moment. And doing this can be a wonderful spiritual practice. It can be a great way to say, hey, God, where are you? I really need you now. Times are uncertain, but it's also equally certain that God is there for us. For you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. So make sure as you do this, and after you do this, that you're looking for God's answer. We're asking God for help, but are we actually looking to see where God's providing? God provides just enough for us every single day. It's like that manna from heaven. We have just enough for each day. So it's really important each day for us to look for, what was it during the day that I had from God? What's my little piece of manna that came down from heaven today? We need to look for God's answer in order to find it. So that requires a little bit of reflection every night. So I'm going to close today with a little bit of reflection for myself and read to you a poem from John O'Donohue. And this is his book, To Bless the Space Between Us. And this is a poem about new beginnings. For a new beginning. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, You can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. I'd like to close this time of worship with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you during this time of transition. I'll see you again next week.